It's been one hell of a July so far. Starting off with the tragic loss of Officer Patsy Swank, and sadly this morning we lost another officer, Duran to suicide. All I can say is we can always do a better job of looking out for our brothers and sisters and trying to pay attention to possible crisis moments that we can intervene. This isn't a foolproof system. We're never going to stop at 100%, but we certainly can try. And we owe it to our brothers and sisters wearing the badge to do just that. When it comes to mental health, I will tell you, we negotiated with the city to pay for an extra representative up here. We do not reimburse the city for this person. This was our way of trying to give back to our members a little more when it comes to mental health. And the city listened to our proposal and agreed to it and literally said, we will not expect payback for that salary. Mike Meddy, it allowed us to bring up another person, but Mike Meddy then became the mental health ombudsman, specifically focusing on mental health and wellness for our members, with the expectation of redoing our second floor and creating 2 brand new offices for EAP counselors to come and give services to our members, because everybody knows that their location is overcrowded, not always able for all the counselors that the city added to have a place to operate. So we thought, what a great option. Our members can come to the lodge, have total discretion about why they're here, and get some service and treatment and counseling if they so desire. So the same city that helped negotiate this agreement and was on board did nothing to follow through. It's been almost a year now, and EAP has refused to use the FOP offices to do counseling. It's a joke. On one hand, yeah, we're on board. The second hand, they refuse to let EAP come here and let their counselors use this location. So Mike's hard work through Dr. Carrie Steiner, we have an agreement where the offices will be staffed in the coming weeks while the lodge is open from 8 to 8, Monday through Friday. There will be a counselor here, whether they're doing scheduled visits or for walk-ins for officers who just want to have someone to talk to. That will be a service available through the lodge in the very near future here. Mike's working out the last details on that, so I applaud all the hard work and commitment that he's put into that. Shame on the city for talking a good game but never walking the walk. I know that doesn't shock many of you, but that's the sad reality. And the only obstruction to that, it was Dr. Sobel at EAP. He has the final say-so in all of this. That did not happen. They were not allowed to come here, and that falls on him. And shame on all of them. But I digress. So moving on to a little happier note, and as if July wasn't a rough enough start with Patsy's loss, then Danny Golden and what happened while he was heroically trying to protect others off duty and stop a carnage from happening, and then sadly getting paralyzed himself by trying to do the right thing. Well, that was a major tragedy, a loss. Danny's life will forever be changed. His family, his friends, his fiance, all of that is understood, and we'll deal with it moving forward. Yesterday, the turnout for Mount Greenwood to come to St. Rita in the numbers that they did and pack that chapel for a prayer service for Danny spoke volumes of who he is, who that community is, and what they think and believe of the police department and the men and women in blue that wear this uniform. It was pretty inspirational, to say the least, that people do really give a damn and do care about what happens to our members. So to all those that attended, thank you. I know the Golden family appreciated it. If you don't know already, Danny earlier this afternoon was transferred from Christ Hospital to the Shirley Ryan Rehab Center, where he's going to begin his new adventure and working out his new reality in life. And hopefully he makes some miraculous recoveries. But we'll certainly help out any way we can in that endeavor. I knew as the motorcade was making its way from Christ Hospital to Shirley Ryan, there would be one person that would absolutely want to be there, and that would be a Shirley Ryan alumni, Carlos Gonzalez Jr. So I called Carlos. It all worked out perfect. Carlos was able to be there when Danny got there in the ambulance and have a moment with him and have a conversation with him. I know that meant a lot, as much to Carlos, probably if not more, than even Danny, seeing Carlos and knowing what he'd went through in that same facility and how far he came. Hopefully it's inspirational. It keeps going. I know it meant a lot to Carlos to be able to give back. That's all that guy wants to do. He is an amazing human being, and I love him for it. But those are the unique moments we get to share that kind of make the sad moments a little more palatable. But this job can steal your soul if you let it. We definitely, as I said, have to do a better job of caring for each other and looking out and just asking simple questions and spending some time with that coworker that maybe you don't normally talk to. Have a conversation about life. It may make the difference between life and death for somebody. You never know. On to some other help. Legislatively, I want to let everybody know that Representative Fran Hurley and Senator Bill Cunningham introduced legislation in Springfield for mental health issues such as time off. Their legislation would guarantee a 24-hour break in a 7-day calendar week. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a start. It's appreciative that people are actually defending the police in Springfield specifically. Fran Hurley and Bill Cunningham have been great friends to the police over the years, and we definitely need to keep supporting them. That is the Beverly community, the Mount Greenwood community, so hats off to them. We'll see where that legislation goes, but in a little closer to home, the city council chambers, I know Alderman Napolitano is working on some draft language for an ordinance. I know Alderman Tabares is working on some draft language for an ordinance when it comes to COVID deaths and line of duty designations, which this department still has failed to do the right thing by our 3 officers. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know if I have to have a press conference on the mayor's front lawn, whatever the case may be, but we're going to bring some attention to this. They need to do the right thing, finally, for these 3 families. On top of that, I will say negotiations started yesterday. There was some productive conversation. I'm not going to go in depth in what that is, but there was certainly some thought-provoking back and forth that the city, I don't think was expecting, but they certainly took longer to process the proposals we were putting forth and the reasons behind them and the reoccurring theme on why those proposals were important. So we'll see where that goes. We have another negotiation session on Monday. With that being said, try to have a good weekend. The rainout date for the baseball game, the Knights versus Chicago Fire Department, is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Rosemont Hot Dog Stadium. From 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks ago, was the rainout game. This is the makeup tomorrow night. So if you want to come out with the kids, family, friends, have a little fun, watch a little good baseball, and watch our bravest, our Knights, take on the fire department and, okay, I'll say it, put a whooping on them. We'll be there, and have a good weekend from there. Thank you.